Dear cadets, during our previous discussion, we were discussing on the 5 laws of chemical combinations. The law of conservation of mass, the law of multiple proportion, the law of definite proportion, Gay-Lussac's law, and the Avogadro law. After knowing what are the laws of chemical combination, now today we will start today's discussion on further part of the first chapter, that is basics in the chemistry for the class 11th. Today's topic of discussion is DAT, D-A-T, DAT, Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton, upon conducting several experiments, he made his own conclusions, his own opinions. Those opinions are called Dalton's atomic theory, his theory. So he has given in the form of postulates point by point. Some postulates already we have studied in the 9th class, and a few more postulates along with those 9th class postulates we will be discussing today in this session. You can see John Dalton. He was a British school teacher. Based on several data from his experiments, he made his own theory, and he also gave an important model known as the Dalton's model about the atom. Atom is like a uniform solid sphere. Afterwards, there is changes there, but he has given the foundation. He has given the basic. That's why he is called as the pioneer in the chemistry. He is also called as father of chemistry. So we will discuss one by one what are the opinions, what are the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Here are few postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. These are condensed postulates. Number 1, matter is made up of tiny, indestructible, indivisible unit particles called atoms. What is the meaning of this statement? Every matter, if you go on dividing, at the end we reach a stage known as a stage where we feel now beyond this stage we can't go division. So this is the final stage of divisibility. That stage is called as what? Indivisibility or uncut stage. And that stage is called as what? Whatever we get a small particles, those particles are called what? Atoms. And this word atom is taken from the Greek literature. Already you have studied in the 9th class. Second postulate. Atom is the smallest particle of an element. Beyond atom, nothing is there. But in the 11th class, we are going beyond atom. That is in the second chapter. Third postulate. Molecule is the smallest particle of a compound. How he has told about the atom, which is the smallest particle of an element. In the same way, now he is saying molecule is the smallest particle of a compound. What are elements and compounds? Elements and compounds are the substances, pure form of matter. That means atom and the molecule are the two important smallest basic fundamental particles of matter. Now fourth one, atoms of the same element have same size, shape, mass and other properties. You can say this statement in this way also. Atoms of an element are identical in all respects. They will not change at all in the properties. So if 1 gram of gold contains some gold atoms, all those gold atoms have similar exact identical properties. That is the meaning of this postulate. Compounds are formed by the combination of different elements. This we have studied under the heading laws of chemical combinations. Elements combine, chemicals combine under some conditions and they form compounds. So compounds are formed by the combination of different elements. But remember friends, to form a compound, the number of elements we require are minimum 2. If a single atom is there, it is an element or a molecule of an element. So for the formation of a compound, we require minimum number of atoms equal to 2. So 2 or more than 2, if they combine under some conditions, whatever they are formed with a definite ratio, they are called compounds. Next postulate. Atom Atoms in a compound unite in small whole number ratios such as 1 is to 1, 1 is to 2, 1 is to 3, 2 is to 1, 2 is to 3, etc. This is what this he has made after discussing the two laws. The law number one is law of definite proportion. Law number two is what? Law of multiple proportion. There we have studied atoms participate during the chemical reaction in whole numbers, not in the fractions. Half atom, one third atom, not like that. Whole atom participates. To say that atoms whole that complete atom participation, those two laws are there, and those two laws he has combined and made this postulate. So atoms in a compound unite in a small whole number ratios 1 is to 1 and so on. Atoms are neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction, strictly according to the law of mass action or the law of conservation of mass. And the last one, a chemical reaction involves only the separation, combination, or rearrangement of integer number of atoms. This also same as the previous postulate. Atoms in a compound unite in a small whole number ratios 1 is to 1, 1 is to 2, 1 is to 3, 2 is to 1, and 2 is to 3, and so on. Okay, so these are the some postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Now we'll go to the next slide. Atomic and molecular masses. Once we have understood that what are atoms, what are molecules, what are elements, and what are compounds, now next topic of discussion is about their masses. And in the physics you have learnt mass and the weight difference. So for the common man it looks same, but for the science students they are different. Depends upon the gravity, you can differentiate between the mass and the weight, but in our day-to-day life, in our day-to-day discussions, we take mass and the weight together, doesn't matter. Okay, right? But truly speaking, from the science point of view, they are different. That you already learnt in the 10th class, in the physics and in chemistry also. In the you have learnt. So mass and weight differs because of the gravity, but here we take both together, not a problem. It is accepted in the chemistry. Okay. First, we discuss about the atomic mass. Atomic mass is the mass of an atom. Okay, friends, in the 9th class and in the 10th class, we have learnt an atom is made up of three fundamental particles. They are called as pen particles, P-E-N. P for proton, E for electron, N for neutrons. And out of the three fundamental particles, two protons and neutrons are present at the center of the atom, which is known as nucleus, given by the Ernest Rutherford. Whereas the third fundamental particle, electron, revolves around the nucleus. That means out of the three fundamental particles, P, E, and N, two are in the nucleus, one is surrounding the nucleus. So this is the structure of the atom. Now, if we want to know the atomic mass, what all are there in the atoms, their masses all together is the mass of the atom. And we have learnt that in the atom there are three particles, P, E, and N. So if you know the number of P, number of E, number of N, and their masses, so if you add total number of protons, total number of neutrons, total number of electrons, after adding all the three their masses, whatever total mass comes, that is the mass of an atom. So atomic mass is the what is the definition here? Atomic mass is the mass of a single atom of a chemical element. It includes the masses of the three subatomic particles, namely protons, neutrons, and the electrons. Now this point is very important. Out of the three fundamental particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons, we have also concluded in the previous class that mass of electron is so small, it is negligible. It is 1 by 1840 of the proton. Already atom is small. In that proton is still small. Electron is 1 by 1840 of proton. That means it is very small. So because of its small mass, mass of electron in our calculation, in our discussion is negligible or it is neglected. So because mass of electron is neglected, so we will consider the mass of what? Only protons and the neutrons present in the atom. Where they are? These two are there in the nucleus. That means after neglecting the mass of electron, what is the meaning of now atomic mass? Atomic mass is the mass of only protons and the neutrons. Where they are? They are present in the nucleus. Because these two are present in the nucleus, these two are called as what? Nucleons. Now what is our conclusion? Conclusion is, as the mass of an electron is neglected, so mass of an atom means it is the mass of its nucleus, or it is the mass of its nucleons. Now we are defining what is 1 AMU, 1 atomic mass unit. It is the unit we use to express the atomic mass. For example, whenever we express the mass of a tomato, we express in the kilogram, because those objects can be seen, can be touched, can be felt. But here atoms are so small, so we require a very small unit for the mass. So that is called what? The smallest unit for mass for the atoms. That is known as what? Atomic mass unit. In short, it is called as AMU. So what is 1 AMU? 1 AMU means it is defined as 1/12 the mass of a single carbon 12 atom. What is the mass of a single carbon 12 atom? It is in a single carbon 12 atom, there are 6 protons and 6 neutrons. Therefore, mass of a single carbon atom is 6 plus 6, 12. So, and if you take 1/12 of the 12th, it is what? 1 only. That means, see, instead of saying 1 am equal to just one particle, he is saying with reference to or with relation to the mass of a carbon atom, because carbon is most widely available element in the nature in the form of organic or in the form of inorganic. Therefore, he has taken the carbon atom as a standard or as a reference or as a relative atomic mass. Therefore, with respect to the carbon atom, he is explaining what is 1 AMU. So 1 AMU means it is the 1/12 the mass of a single carbon 12 atom. That means 1 AMU is nothing but mass of one proton or mass of one neutron. Now, after knowing the atomic mass, now we will go to the molecular mass. What is the molecular mass? First, we'll understand what is a molecule. In the previous discussion, where under the heading Dalton's atomic theory, molecule is made up of atoms. So, how many atoms are there in a molecule? And how many different kinds of atoms are there in a molecule? That you have to know first. After knowing how many kinds, in what number, and if you know the mass of the every atom present in that molecule, and if you add all those masses, that is the mass of a molecule. That means in a particular molecule, how many atoms are there? If you add all those atoms, we will get the mass of that molecule. It is the sum of atomic masses of the elements present in a molecule. It is obtained by multiplying the atomic mass of each element by the number of its atoms and adding them together. See, here he is saying multiplying. For example, in water there are 2 hydrogen. So 2 into mass of the 1 hydrogen atom. In the case of methane, there are 4 hydrogen. So in the case of hydrogen, in the methane, how to write? It is 4 times the mass of hydrogen. So 4 times the mass of one hydrogen. That's why he's saying multiplying. So when you, that's why in the beginning only I told how many different kinds of atoms are there in what number. So if you add all these, that is the molecular mass. That is a simple meaning for the molecular mass. Okay, with example. How to calculate the molecular mass of methane? First, we should know the molecular formula. Methane molecular formula is a CH4. So, in the methane, there are 2 different kinds of atoms. One is carbon and other one is hydrogen. And number of carbon atoms in methane is 1, and number of hydrogen atoms in one molecule of methane equal to 4. So, if you add mass of one carbon and 4 times the mass of hydrogen, that gives you the mass of one methane molecule. He has written same thing here. So molecular mass of methane equal to mass of one carbon plus 4 times the mass of hydrogen. Sum total of this is the mass of the methane, which is equal to 16.043 U. U stands for unit. U stands for unified mass, or in a simple way, U stands for atomic mass unit. That means molecular mass of one methane molecule is equal to 16.043 unit, or 16.043 AMU. One more example. Every day we drink water. Formula H2O. Here also two different kinds of atoms are there. One is hydrogen, other one is oxygen. Number of hydrogen 2, number of oxygen 1. So if you add the mass of one oxygen atom and the mass of the two hydrogen atoms, sum total, that gives you the mass of one molecule of water. So mass of one oxygen is equal to 16U, and the mass of one hydrogen atom equal to 1.008 multiplied by 2 times, because two hydrogen atoms are there. Sum together it is called what? 18.02 is the atomic mass unit of the one water molecule. This is one more mass. We have heard atomic mass, we have heard molecular mass. This is formula mass. Formula mass word is normally applicable to the compounds of the type electrovalent. Means in the 10th class you learnt there are three kinds of compounds. One is ionic compound, second one is covalent compounds, third one is coordinate compounds. For covalent compounds and for the coordinate compounds, we use the word molecular mass. For example, methane is a molecule. So whenever we are using molecule, the better word is molecular mass. So we say molecular mass of methane. But when you are discussing about the sodium chloride, which is an ionic compound, that time if you study the structure of ionic compounds, by taking the example of sodium chloride NaCl, in the microscope or in the highly powerful X-ray diffraction, which is a very powerful physics device, we see many NaCl units joined together. So therefore, it is very difficult to isolate one NaCl from the ionic compound NaCl. That's why we don't use the word molecule. In place of molecular mass, we use the formula mass, because that one unit of NaCl is the smallest unit of that entire structure of NaCl. Therefore, even if you use in place of molecular mass, formula mass, no problem, or in place of formula mass, molecular mass, no problem. But during writing part, if you want to write correctly, for for electrovalent compound, for ionic compounds, the better word is formula mass, and for covalent compounds and for the coordinate compounds, the better word is molecular mass. But if you use formula mass for the covalent, not wrong. Molecular mass for the ionic compounds, it's not wrong. Both are accepted. How we have accepted the atomic mass and atomic weight, though difference is there. So here also formula mass and molecular mass for the electrovalent, for the ionic, for the covalent, and for the coordinate compounds, it is accepted. Just to differentiate, we are using formula mass and the molecular mass. So how to calculate formula mass? Same method what we have employed for the molecular mass, the same method here also. For example, formula mass of ferric sulfate, Fe2SO4 thrice. So there are three different kinds of atoms in ferric sulfate. One is iron, one is sulfur, other one is oxygen. How many iron? 2 iron. How many sulfur? See, he has used the bracket here. So there are 3 sulfur. And how many oxygen? Already in the formula 4 are there. That 4 multiplied by 3 times. That means 4th is a 12. Totally 12 oxygen atoms are there in one Fe2SO4 thrice. So in one Fe2SO4 thrice, there are 2 iron atoms, there are 3 sulfur atoms, and there are 12 oxygen atoms. And if you add all these atomic masses, then we get the formula mass of 1 Fe2SO4 thrice, that is ferric sulfate. It is here 399.879 atomic mass unit. So formula mass and molecular mass are one and the same.